Hi, welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 109. I'm stoking that spiritual fire I set today by sparking change within you, showing up as a trigger and a disruptor. So for those of you that have been watching my channel for a while, I got a question. Am I triggering you? The idea for this episode came to me after some comments I made in one of my recent episodes about how the spiritual awakening and healing journey that I talk about in every episode is probably triggering some people and inspiring others. And in that comment, I also said that I hope that I am triggering some people because I believe that's going to bring you toward your awakening and your healing journey. So if I am triggering you, good. That means something inside of you is shifting. If I'm triggering you, then I'm doing my job. Because I'm a truth speaker, I speak my truth. I might touch on some raw places within you, places where deep hurt lies and that needs attention. So if this message is starting to resonate with you and it stings a little, that's good. Lean in. Because there's growth hiding behind the trigger. There's growth that isn't easy. It's uncomfortable. See episode number 103. But this growth is necessary to bring you towards your fulfillment, your highest level of being your true self. So yeah, I'm a disruptor and I don't sugarcoat anything because I'm not willing to make things sound nice and pretty in order to draw you in. That's not realistic and it's not being honest. So if I plan to go forward in this role as a guide and a teacher for you, then I need to be completely honest about this journey that hopefully you are beginning. But as I'm triggering you, listen, this is not meant as cruelty or any kind of punishment for you. It's a sacred catalyst. And it's meant to bring you toward your ultimate truth. So this disruption that I'm causing is not destruction. It's transformation knocking on your door. So don't run from the triggers because they're flares. And it's your soul reaching out to you saying, look over here, there's something that needs some attention. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to talk about defining what a trigger is. So a trigger can be trauma that's surfacing, unresolved emotional pain that's being activated. The truth can often disrupt our illusions and our ego rises up in defense. And especially when we're looking at and asked to question within ourselves outdated narratives that no longer hold true. So these triggers cause a cognitive dissonance where there's a confusion as the illusions fall away and the real truth begins to emerge. Our ego has a resistance to these triggers because we want to cling to our old beliefs and our old version of ourselves. But through these triggers, they're awakening your soul to the buried truths, but it's got to create this foundational disruption in the process. So triggers are actually sacred invitations for you to look inward and not just lash outward. Triggers are meant to get your attention. It's your soul asking for the attention and wanting these revelations, illusions to fall away and the healing to begin. So within the trigger, there's coding, and we can decipher what wisdom is hiding within the trigger. Here's some steps you can take when you're triggered to kind of help you start to decipher and decode what the trigger is trying to teach you. So the first thing you can do when a trigger is activated is pause. There's power in that pause. So take a beat, take a couple beats, take a few moments to take a few breaths and just pause. And then the next step would be try to name the emotion that you're feeling, that this trigger brought up. Is it feelings of rejection? Are you being disrespected? Do you feel unseen? Do you feel unsafe? Use simple, easy, raw language to describe what these emotions are that the trigger has brought forward in you. And then ask yourself, is this tied to a memory or a belief? Is this trigger, an emotion, tied to an old wound like childhood abandonment or betrayal? Or is it tied to limited belief? maybe a self-belief that you're not good enough or that no one will listen to you. So you're pausing, you're naming the emotion, you're asking what is this emotion tied to, and then you're going to discern as well, is this about what's happening right now, or is this somehow tied to something that's happened in the past? Ask yourself, is your reaction proportional to the situation? Or does the intensity actually belong to a past version of yourself that's crying out for attention? So once you've been able to discern if this is based on something in the past or it's just a reaction to a current situation, if it is something in the past, then the next step would be to reframe the message and just ask yourself, is there a boundary here that I need to be setting? Or what wound, most importantly, do I need to tend to? So pause, name the emotion, ask what it is tied to, discern whether it's tied to something now or from the past, and then reframe it. There is healing power to be found in facing these triggers. The healing starts when you stop running from whatever truth the trigger is trying to show you. You can't alchemize a pain and discomfort when you refuse to go near them or touch them. But the truth will bring to the surface what is calling out for healing, and these triggers will also bring to the surface what's calling out for healing. I am qualified to bring forth these truths to you because I've lived this life, I've walked the path. Many of the things and struggles that you may be dealing with, I have also dealt with. And I've earned this spot. It's been built on spiritual survival and years of inner work and healing. I've been forged in the fire, and this is how I've emerged, bravely speaking truth and shaking up foundations. But all the while, I'm still being misunderstood by some or seen as too much, a trouble starter. But that's okay. I'm not willing to back down because I know part of my mission and my purpose in life is to bring clarity, not chaos, to bring truth, not deception. I'm not here to bring conflict, but to expose what's broken and what needs to begin to heal. But to do all these things, I had to heal myself first. So as I said, I have walked the path. I can talk the talk because I have walked the walk. And now I'm in this role of truth speaker and disruptor and trigger starter. And this can come with loneliness, but I'm okay with that because I've learned to be very comfortable with myself and my thoughts. And that's where most of my inner work and inspirations come from, is during that solitude. So it can get messy. There might be some backlash and slander and gossip from people who are resisting change, and they would rather lash out at me, the trigger starter, than to look inward. And as I said, I'm okay with that. The trigger is the change. So it's my job to trigger this change, but it's not my job to make the changes for you. So here's some prompts to ask yourself, and either write in your journal or just write down and keep it in a place where you'll see it often so that you can begin to figure out what are the answers to these questions. If you're someone who's easily triggered and triggered often, then this episode is definitely for you. So here's some prompts for you. What truths am I being called to face? What truths am I being called to speak? What part of me is asking to be seen, soothed, or set free? What ripple effect am I afraid I will cause by making changes and starting on my own healing journey? And the last question I have is, what steps can I take to explore where the healing is needed? I've got over 100 episodes on this channel, so go back and look through my playlist, and any episodes, titles, or subject matter that speaks to you is a good place to start. So in close, I want to say that these triggers that we all experience are not enemies, they're sacred messengers. They're not meant to punish us, but instead to awaken us to our higher and true self. But the only way that we can accomplish that and reach that goal is through the healing journey. So this is our episode for today. I hope that you're doing well and taking good care of yourselves. As always, I wish you peace, love, and light. And I'll be back very soon. So take good care. And that's it for now.